Howdy folks, Hulkrix here, and welcome to Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 55. Alright, today we're going to be talking about a very seldom used mech, very seldom ever seen. I think I could probably count on one hand the number of times in the last 30 years I've seen this mech on the battlefield. Just to be honest. Now, what is it? It's the Ostscout. And what's its role? It's all in the name. Scout. 100% pure scout. Now, what is it? It's a 35-ton mech. That's a 8. Yes, 8. It's kind of like a Spider's. And gets around, moves around pretty darn good. Carries around 72 points of armor, so it can handle a bit of damage. Not that you want it to get damaged. Which is short. Oh, let's see. 28 plus 19, 18. Yeah. Roughly 40-something. 46, 47. 47, roughly 3 tons short of maximum. And then it has a medium laser in the center torso, and then right and left torso it carries around those 8 jump jets, 4 each. Now, just like the name says, Ostscout, it's a very seldom used mech, probably because a lot of times individuals look at it and go, well, you know, it's got that one medium laser and that's it. And most individuals play just stand-up games where you blow everything off the table and then you're done. There's no mission involved really, or it's just a minor mission where you're just going at each other's throats, tear each other up and blow it, and then that's it. You know, there's no campaign or anything. And that's why this mech usually gets overlooked or never hardly used. You know, it's got a battle value. It's 1/3 the cost of an Atlas. But, you know, the Atlas is going to have 10 times as much firepower, probably, when you think about it. And with the way it moves around, it is an excellent scout. Plain and simple. You know, I'm just curious why individuals don't use it as much as they do. Maybe because, you know, maybe the Spiders and the Jenners are a little more flashier. You know, you drop down one movement point and you end up with a whole bunch of weaponry, you know, similar to, you know, what you got in the Jenner. So I think that's one of the reasons why individuals will go with the Jenner over an Ostscout, or a Spider over an Ostscout. That's just because they rather have that one extra weapon or a couple extra weapons, a little bit more firepower. Now, this mech, when it comes to firepower, you know, it does have the one medium laser. It has the 8 jump jets. And it could jump 8 and fire the one medium laser and do that for, what, 6 turns? 7 turns. 7 turns before you have any detriment to firing. All right, because at the level 8 heat, that's when you have that +1 modifier. And if you're jumping, you're not worrying too much about the movement modifier point, which you pick up at, 5? So, in all reality, this mech could move around pretty decently. So you're looking at the 7+ modifier, plus you're jumping. So you're going to have some decent modifiers. And now if you're jumping into anything that's like wood hex or a heavy wood hex, the odds are they're not going to be shooting at you. Plus, it's just with the one medium laser, they just kind of look at you and go, you're not much of a threat. They're going to be looking at the other mechs. And if you attach this mech, like I've been saying before, you get a fire support lance, where you have some LRMs. This guy can sit back and move around and be the eyes and ears while the other guys are sitting behind either a hillside or in a bunch behind some woods, not being seen, and just raining down their LRMs down on somebody's head, especially if it's like an Atlas or something is moving slow. And this guy's zipping around there. It's like, okay, we could shoot at this really fast mech running around that's really not too much of a threat, or we can take on, let's say, the heavier assaults that are in our face. All right, what are you going to do? Usually you're going to be taking on the stuff that's more of a bigger threat. Now, the one thing this mech does have to worry about is anti-scout lances. Let's say you have anything of the nature like a wolfhound or something will hunt down a Ostscout and tear it up pretty quickly, because it has a lot more weaponry and it can do the job easier in the anti-scout. And this mech, plain and simple, is 100% scout. And like I said over the episodes, is that you want to keep your scouts moving as much as possible. Now, if you do want to use it and you're able to move like 12 hexes in a straight line, well, yeah, you're looking at a +4 modifier. Or you could jump 8 and still get that modifier. So either way you look at it, this mech is going to be doing a heck of a job of keeping itself from being shot at. And I always use it, one of the times I have used it is that I put it into exactly the role that I've been discussing, is that I'm going to attach it to a fire support lance, and that is its whole purpose, is eyes and ears. Now, one drawback with this mech I've always complained about is you look at the hands. Doesn't have any. Why? Why didn't this... Well, I guess it does. Sort of. But it's got these little... looks like it should have 2 medium lasers or something coming out of its arms. And it's like, when it comes to missions where you want to use this thing to go around and pick up stuff, you can't. If you want to jump behind somebody and punch, you're going to have some modifiers. You decrease because it doesn't have all the actuators. So you're stuck with trying to kick somebody. Now, I've never understood that. When you only have one weapon, why didn't this thing have hands? Makes no sense to me. Unless someplace along the line, this mech originally, when it was designed, was a little slower, so it had some more medium lasers, one in each arm, and that's what they did. That's possible. But, you know, that's kind of a here nor there. When it comes to variants, there is none. Until you get into the 3050 era, when you start seeing XL engines and stuff like that. And it isn't until 3050 when this mech actually starts becoming a little more of a threat. And when you throw an XL engine in, you're able to keep the speed the same, but you're increasing the amount of tonnage. And when it comes to scout mechs like that, then you can move it into a hunter-killer type, you know, when you're hunting down other scouts. But until that time hits, which, you know, 25 years down the road, which we're getting pretty close to finishing up all the mechs in the 3025. Then we're going to move on to it. I guess we got a couple in the 3039 I need to discuss, and then we'll move on to the 3050. So, all right. Other than that, there's really not much to say about it other than trying to figure out what's the best way to do the scouting role. And it's a mech like this that really forces you to learn how to be a good scout pilot. You know, you're not wanting to engage your target, get into too close, move as fast as possible. It's one of these mechs that you're not worrying too much about the heat, so you can kind of ignore that for a long period of time. And then you can go one turn where if you just run it, you know, let's say you heat it up to 5 or 6 because you're jumping and firing, and then you take a turn where you just run without any firing or anything. This thing cools itself off really quick, and you're not going to have too big a problem. But that's where you have to look at with a mech like this, you got to look at long term, where you want to be in 2-3 turns. Or if you're able to see where you got, I can jump here, I can jump there, or I can run here and get the modifiers I want and mitigate the chance that somebody wants to get too close. Because if you get into the medium and long range with this thing and you're not firing it, and next thing you know, individuals are like, they're just totally not even going to look at you. And like I've said before, look downrange where you want to be. Alright, so, okay, I can be in this heavy wood hex here, or I can behind this building, or this level, or be in partial cover, or something of that nature. That +1 modifier might be the difference between somebody going, okay, I need a 12 to hit the scout, or I need a 9 at longer range to hit this warhammer. Which one are they going to go with? Are they going to use the 12, or are they going to go with the 9? I can guarantee you they're probably going to go with the 9 because they want to have a better chance of doing some damage. So, always look downrange, figure out where you want to go, and then it's kind of like chess. It's like, if they move here, I can move there. If they move here, I can move there. Type thing. Try to think a couple turns ahead when it comes to being a scout pilot. And you'll be more successful that way. It'll keep you alive and keep you from being a pile of junk on the battlefield and someone else's salvage. Or you're being sold on the market someplace. Alright. If you got anything you want to talk about, put it down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Alcrax out.